Yo, what is up everybody? Brad Ellis here, and today I am here to talk to you about Metroid Other M. With Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon, I thought it'd be a great time to revisit some Metroid games. And for some reason, I thought it'd be interesting to play the most controversial Metroid game in my opinion, which is Other M. And boy, what a game! Okay, so just for some context about me with the series, I am a big Metroid fan. I have played most of the games, except some of the spin-offs, and I love the genre of Metroidvania, so I'm a big Metroid fan, you could say. So if you're a Metroid fan at all, or you pay attention to the genre, you may know that Metroid Other M is quite the controversial game in the series. And I could see why, for good reasons. I did play it back in 2010, and I remember not loving it, but I don't think I hated it as much as most people did at the time. But I thought with Prime 4 on the horizon, what better time than to revisit this game than right now? So right off the bat, something interesting about this game, and it is co-developed by Nintendo and Team Ninja, who are known for the Neo series and things like the Ninja Gaiden series as well. The game had multiple directors, but of course the most noticeable one is Yoshio Sakamoto, who was a designer on the original Metroid and directed several Metroid games like Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, Zero Mission, and he was a producer on stuff like Samus Returns and Metroid Dread. He's been at Nintendo for a long time and has produced several other things at Nintendo like the Tomodachi Life series, Emio, The Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club, WarioWare, and more. Before I start getting into the nitty-gritty of the game and all that kind of stuff, one thing I gotta say about this game that I really like is that it's very ambitious. However, it did not turn out as well as it should have. Okay, so Metroid game, of course, if you don't know, this is what started the Metroidvania genre. Exploration, backtracking, getting power-ups to access new areas, things like that. And of course, this follows in its footsteps. But it makes some dramatic changes, I'll say. Let's talk about by far the most controversial aspect of this game, which is the story. While the core pillars of the franchise have always been things like its atmosphere and gameplay, Metroid has always had a story. And while it's never been a big focus for them, this time around Sakamoto really wanted to focus on the story for Other M, especially to help separate it from the Prime series. But it doesn't work here. The game takes place weeks after the events of Super Metroid. One day when Samus is floating around in space, she picks up a distress signal and decides to investigate it. She lands on a decommissioned space facility, and here she runs into the Galactic Federation 07th Platoon, which includes her old friend Anthony Higgs. If you guys remember the old school trailer for this game, he was the guy that does the "Remember Me" with his visor coming up. She also runs into her father-like figure, Commander Adam Malkovich, who is leading the team. Samus decides to team up with the crew, but she's under their orders now. And from here, our adventure begins. So you may be saying, what's so bad about the story of this game? Seems fine so far. And I don't think the overall plot is anything special. It's not like so horrible to me that I think it's inexcusable. But the biggest problem with this game's story is its execution. One key component being Samus. Now, I like Samus a lot. I think she's badass. But in this game, she is a monotone. She might as well be a robot, is what I'm saying. She doesn't feel like a real human at all in this. The way she talks about people, her inner monologues, it's all super boring, super dry, and dull.
Confession time. I decided to call the traitor the deleter. The word he so obviously chose. Outsider. Pierced my heart. I knew it to be true, but still couldn't help looking at my palm for a sign.
I don't even mind that she has like a father figure and stuff like that and wants to impress him. That's fine with me, whatever. But it's done so poorly, you can't help but get annoyed with her. She's always talking about the fucking baby, man. Enough, Samus, with the baby.
The baby, the baby, the baby, the baby, the baby, that baby earlier.
Now, you gotta remember also, when this game came out, we had never, I don't think ever heard Samus talk. So when she was talking, it was a big deal. It's like imagining when Link finally talks in a Zelda game. It's gonna be a huge moment. You cannot mess it up. And they seem to have messed up Samus so badly they never really did it again, which is a shame. I'm not opposed to Samus speaking. I think it could be really interesting, but they handled it really poorly here. Hopefully they give it another try though someday. Okay, so you may be thinking, whatever, it's Metroid. I don't give a shit about the story. I don't care about any of this stuff. What's really important is the gameplay. And to that, I say, fair. So let's talk about it. Okay, so right away, I gotta say, I respect this aspect of the game. They tried to make a 3D third-person Metroid game. Of course, we know first-person works super well. We got the Prime trilogy and Zoom 4, and of course, it's awesome. But I really wish Nintendo would try to do a third-person 3D Metroid game again. But unfortunately, the controls really hold the game back, in my opinion. First of all, this came out on Wii, of course, but to play the game, you use only a Wiimote, not a Wiimote and a nunchuck, which you may think, of course, has the little analog stick, all that good stuff. Nope, you hold the Wiimote sideways, like you're playing an NES game or something on Virtual Console. And right away, the D-pad is not optimal for controlling a 3D game. In fact, it almost felt uncomfortable playing with this. I really wish they let you use the nunchuck. Another ambitious part about this game is that not only is it 3D third person, you can also go into first person at any time. To do this though, you need to rotate the Wiimote, which is not good. Don't get me wrong, you can make it work, but every time I would rotate that Wiimote during combat, it felt incredibly inelegant. Especially since there's always a small delay when you rotate the Wiimote. It's cool going in first person to look around and stuff like that, but I never really looked forward to doing it. You have to do it for certain things like shooting your missiles or using items like the grapple beam, but I wish the game honestly was just third person. I think it would have been better. Oh God, it just would have been so much better with a button. I did struggle with the game and its motion controls sometimes, especially earlier on. I had to find that sweet spot. I forgot all about this kind of thing where getting with the Wii bar, the motion bar and all that kind of stuff, getting in the perfect angle, the perfect distance from it to really get it to, I want to say shine, but it's not shining. You guys know that, it's not shining, but I was able to make it work, I'll say.
The big dogs are waiting.
Since the game was co-developed with Team Ninja, you can definitely feel their input into the gameplay. Samus is way more mobile and way quicker than she is in most games. You have a crazy OP dodge roll that is just insane and gives you like a full charge if you land things properly. You can do some cool things like finishers on guys occasionally, which if you play the Ninja Gaiden games you may be familiar with. And seeing Samus like grab a guy and throw him is pretty sick. It all works well enough, but man, I got really sick of fighting guys after a while because this game loves to lock you in a room and make you fight a bunch of dudes. And that's okay every now and then, but this game does it too much in my opinion, where I just wanted to run past them. I don't mind some friendly mechanics to make things a little easier for some people, I totally get it. But I think this game goes a little too far in the sense that anytime you're low on health, you can simply just hold up the Wiimote for a couple seconds and hold the A button, and a little meter will charge up. And when it does charge up all the way, you'll get like a full E-tank back, and you'll get all your missiles back, which really made getting missile upgrades way less impactful for me. I didn't ever have to worry about running out of ammunition, which was such a bummer, man. Especially because there's not many upgrades for you to get in this game. You got stuff like your E-tanks, and you can get E-tank parts, which is like the Zelda hearts, essentially. You collect like 4, and you get 1 more E-tank. You can get an item that lets you charge up your buster a little quicker, which is fun. But the missile upgrades are such a big part, and I never felt like I was running out of them. And I just don't like that, man. I think it should feel way more rewarding, way more impactful getting these kind of things. Having that small sense of dread of running out of missiles for a tough fight is a big part of Metroid to me. But it doesn't even matter here. It's a Metroid game, so of course there is platforming, and I didn't really have any problems executing jumps and stuff like that. It just doesn't feel very good with the D-pad. And I couldn't help but notice, but every time I was moving around, especially later on when I got the dash, we can run really fast for a little bit, it feels like the game is constantly throwing speed bumps in the way to ruin my fun. When I got that dash, I was like, oh, sick, I'm gonna move around really fast, and it's gonna feel like Super Metroid and all that kind of stuff, but it's like, no, the game literally puts up speed bumps that Samus has to slowly jump over to slow you down. I'm like, why are we doing this? We're ruining the flow here.
Whew. That was ugly. Thanks, princess.
Okay, so the Metroid games are absolutely known for their level design. It's a big part of them, going through areas, finding power-ups, unlocking new doors, all that kind of stuff. It's good shit. And while Metroid Other M still has aspects of that, it's done, like many other things, not well here. This game is much more linear compared to past Metroid games. When I think of past Metroid games and things like other Metroidvanias, I always get to those parts in the game where I have like multiple routes to go and I don't really know where I want to go and unlocking 6 shortcuts. But here it is all just super narrow. Not once throughout my entire playthrough of the game did I feel like I was discovering something really cool or finding awesome secrets or even getting lost. It all feels very basic here. Maybe bomb this wall, or hey, there's a little hole right here you can go down. Nothing really that complicated. And that's fine, not everything's got to be complicated to an extent, but I was so unsatisfied with the exploration and puzzles here. I was dying for something to get me invested. And honestly, a lot of the power-ups you get in the game aren't really that sick or do you get to really utilize. Like for instance, you know when you play like a good Metroidvania or something like that, you get an ability and you're like, oh man, I know like 4 places I can use this at. Here, I was just kind of like, meh, I don't even really care about going back to this. One thing that's really annoying also is that all of your power upgrades are bound to Adam. No more are you going through an area and finding an actual upgrade for Samus. This time around, at certain scenarios, Adam calls into Samus and is like, hey Samus, you can use your ice beam now. Hey Samus, you can use your charge missile now. And it's just like, why? I understand that Samus is working with the Galactic Federation here, and she's trying to follow orders with them, but it feels so unsatisfying. I miss the days of finding a cool power-up. Instead, I now just got some idiot calling me on my little headphone to let me know I can use them now. Oh, one thing I gotta bring up that I do like about the game is there are these moments where it kind of goes like Resident Evil 4 camera perspective for Samus, where you get like the side back angle, and it's not used in combat or anything like that, but it's used for more immersive moments when you're walking through an area, giving you a greater sense of atmosphere. There's some cool like survival horror vibe parts there that I really like as well. It's been weird. During this whole discussion I'm having right now with you guys, I'm getting more annoyed at the game as I think about it. Like I said, there's some really ambitious ideas here that I respect, but the execution of this game is just sloppy. Which is a bummer, you know? I want to like this game. I love Metroid. I want the series to do well. But it's just so hard for me to find the good here. Yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you think about Metroid Other M? I'm not a huge fan of it, even though I was hoping to enjoy it a lot more this time when I played around, but god damn, it just does a lot of bad shit.
What are you talking about?
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even want to talk about the game anymore. I don't know. I need to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Do you enjoy the game? Let me know. I would love to hear some people that enjoy the game and their takes and all that kind of stuff, because I know plenty of people don't like it out there, and unfortunately, I am in that camp once again. But yeah, thank you guys. I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Peace.